Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. How is everybody doing this fine May 24th, Saturday? Indeed. Indeed. All right. There we go. Works. Everything works. Doing pretty well, I think. Even BS, I used to have problems every damn week. I think I just jinxed myself. I think I just jinked myself. Because jinking, that's something you do. How's everybody doing? Roll call. Ryan West is tardy to the party, but that's all right. What's up, Laramie? Good to see you. Ryan. Harrigan, good to see you. Yeah, Harrigan's late in the day. It's almost 11s for him. Good to see you, Blake. Blake. Keith. Good morning. Test Tricky, good to see you. Gabe, morning. Hoos, morning. Jake, morning. Matt, good morning. Joe, it's morning. Good morning. Good to know. Coming in 5x5. Thanks, Ryan. Alrighty. Gifted subs. Nice. Very nice. Thank you very much. John was the fine winner. Congratulations, John. Thanks, Trumpet. Much appreciated. Jim, morning. Well, good evening for the Trumpet. Morning, Kev. Nick, good morning. Good to see you on this holiday weekend here in the U.S. and amongst other places, right? Too Canadian holiday weekend, right? What is it today for Canadians? What is today's holiday? Today's holiday around the world. I don't even remember. I know somebody brought it up to me. What is it? Help a ignorant American. Saturday? Well, today is Saturday, but isn't it a holiday weekend? Last weekend in Canada. Sorry, Canada. Last weekend. What was it, Andy, up there? Jeff, good to see you. See, I need to be more worldly. It's only fair. Victoria Day. Victoria Day. Belated Victoria Day, Canada. I know you guys are a little perturbed at us. I don't blame you. Won't get into that stuff. Just saying, I understand and I empathize. Just saying. It's a weird world. It's a weird world. It's a weird world. Anyways. Toughest brand of water there is. It is. I only go for the toughest water. Toughest water. It's hilarious. Help an ignorant American. Your pledge, likes, and subscribes can help reduce ignorance. Indeed. Thank you, Ryan. I gotta hire Ryan. Ryan, can I hire you for free? Hobbsy, good to see you. It's always weird somewhere. That is for sure. Starting a game of Kern 2E in my local FLGS. The Amazon print-on-demand copies of the Player's Guide are such a good value, says Teste. Good luck with the game. Not mad at anyone here. Good to see you, Jeff. Well, that's good. I hope we can. It's hard. It's going to be, let's not get, I feel like talking about it, but I don't. Like, I think it's like a big elephant in the room. Like, hey, how's it going? It's going. Yeah. What are you playing? Role-playing games. Anyways, We do. Oh, the elephant. Yeah, the elephant. Speaking of elephant in the room, it's not over. It's not over. Today I have. Let's. I mean, I don't have a discussion topic. I mean, Blake, your suggestions, people's suggestions have not gone unnoticed. Okay, I just want to make sure I acknowledge that you're not posting and hitting me up and messaging me into a void by any means. Oh, look at this guy. Nelson, good to see you. Hope all is well. Another fellow Canadian. Like, well, I mean, I'm kind of Canadian. I mean, I've got Canadian heritage. I don't know if I'd be welcome there now, but just kidding, guys. Good to see you. I don't have a topic today necessarily. I kind of, so people have made suggestions, but and we'll get to them a little bit. Sean is a wannabe, that's for sure. Reading A, good to see you. Morning. I'm long on record as being a fan of Canada's two greatest sports. That's true. Honorary Canadian. Thank you. Michael Bublé and Sarah McLachlan. Yeah, they got some good folks coming from there. Amongst the folks in here. Topic ideas: weird games you missed from the past. We could talk about. I'm open to talking about anything today, and then everybody's like, "I'm out." I came here to discuss something. Damn it, Sean. Weird games you missed from the past. Oof, that's a good one. Says Joe Swick. Like there's all like the questions, like the single questions, like what's your favorite game? They're great, but I'm looking for stuff to sink teeth into as far as just the discussion topics. So this one, especially for today, I'm kind of like, I don't know. It's a weekend. It's a 3-day weekend here in the U.S. It's a holiday weekend. So, and I don't know if everybody was it's the biggest traveling weekend of the year usually here in the U.S. Kicks off the summer. And so I didn't know how many people would be here. So I like to think of it as kind of an intimate setting today. To talk and banter about tabletop role-playing games and what's going on. And it could be about anything, honestly. Like what's got your attention, or what is whatever that's like hitting your brain, garnering your attention, good or bad. We could talk about bad stuff. Like you can't stick your head in the sand. We'll still go into role play. We'll go into print and crowdfunding stuff that's out there in bundles too, for sure, just to kind of cover those and fill in some gaps. So I just wanted to set the stage. Harrigan went to school with Sarah. I bet you she is as kind as in person as she is in her music. Harrigan. RPG, Gen Exile, good to see ya. Example, Dragon Dice. Someone brought it up on a Discord server. It is still in print by another company. Oh, interesting. Castle Falkenstein. Whoa. Orcus, good to see you. I woke up late. Hair joke, California joke, yada, 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 yada. Let's get on with it. There you go. There's hope for Orcus yet. Scott's he's like, look, my routine. Bam, bam, bam. Insert things here. Let's go. Don't say he's not adaptable to change. Got my attention. Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Really good series, giving my ideas for scenarios. That's a good one. It's a good one. More of a fan of that one than Discovery personally, but that's all right. Teach their own. Oh my goodness. Revolucio das Maquinas. Good morning. I probably butchered that all to hell, and I apologize. Test Trekkie, weird games I miss. Reichstar, the Nazis won World War II, and it's 200 years later, and you're the last members of the resistance fighting their evil empire. Oof. That's like the Amazon series, right? Which I never watched. The Tower, what is it? I can't remember. I thought it was pretty good. I don't know if it's still on being produced. I don't. Well, I should probably put the topic is just open discussion. I'll put it out there. I didn't have anything set. It's a free for all. We'll pick something out of the chat and run it into the ground. What's your favorite place to game? A venue, in a basement, a con? Reichstar is available at Internet Archive. Interesting. The topic is the topic. Yeah. How about embedded tones in games? Oh, interesting. I could always turn to Kevin for interesting. Go check out him and Gabe's podcast, Analytic Dice. How about embedded tones in games? Star Trek, Delta versus Delta Green. Perhaps some good thoughts there. Yeah, tone is a good one. Tone is a discussion topic. Let's talk tone in RPGs, right? Man in the High Castle, that's the one. Thank you. Based on a Philip K. Dick alternative history novel. Thank you, Jim. Good to see you, by the way. Morning. And Harrigan's hit the button a little bit late, but coming in second. Mike M, TMNT, but it needs to be made in something other than the Palladium system. It's like Machines Revolution in Portuguese. Well, thank you. Good to know. I learned something today. Jeff says Wayward Studios is kickstarting a new module, Nullware Land. Oh boy. Why do you play TTRPGs? Yeah. 'Cause they're fun, man. See, Jake? Tone. Delta Green has it. Shadowrun doesn't. Let's talk about tone. Should we do tone? We'll talk about tone. Tone. Shadowrun is all tone. By the way, hi, Victor. Don't get me wrong, I'm playing SR right now. Tone, let's talk about tone, right? Cats. If you haven't watched Cat's video here, I highly recommend it. The Tool. The video, sure. But not tone. Okay, we got to define tone. Right, Orcus? Not Tone Loke. Not, hey, Maverick, I got tone. Any tips for mastering an RPG for the first time? Ooh, that's a good one. Are you just starting out? Das Maquinas. Are you just starting out in the RPG hobby? Or game mastering for the most part? Define it first, says Hobbs. So tone is, should we go to Google and just look it up? What is tone? Besides like an audio cue? A music or vocal sound with reference to its pitch, quality, and strength. Or, what is probably more apropos, would be the general character or attitude of a place, piece of writing, situation, etc. Example, my friend and I lowered the tone with our oafish ways. So tone is, some of the descriptions of what may encapsulate or tie to tone is dark, mysterious, suspenseful, light, humorous, all of those good, cool, descriptive adjectives, if you will. Gritty, right? Gritty, dark. What is the tone? Serious, not so serious. Not to be confused with Yahoo serious. Huh? Right, Aussies? Right. I raised the tone. Marjorie. Good to see you, Marjorie. Tone. So in Cats, it's concept, aim, tone, subject matter. It took me a year to remember those those words in that order. Click. Anyways, so when you talk about setting up a role-playing game, if some people are not, if you don't set the tone, you could have people playing the same game, but taking it in a different way. Like when I say taking it in a different way, it could be synonymous with saying, well, they don't take the game very seriously. kind of thing with the tone, maybe, right? They may not take it seriously, and that could be, well, they don't prioritize it properly, or they're in the game, which is what the context is here. They're in the game, but they're not as engaged with others, or they're taking different. You know what is a perfect example? There's a TV show. You guys, I don't know if you guys have ever seen this. Oh, it's going to drive me nuts, and I'm not going to be able to find it. So I guess we'll play charades, the verbal version. Sounds like TV show. I think it's off Netflix, and it stars the woman from, oh God, I got to give you that, at least the actress name, actor's name. She was in Schitt's Creek. Annie Murphy played in this, and it's a weird show because she plays the main character, and it got pretty good accolades, I think, at some stuff. So I bring this up as an example of tone. I'm getting there. Bear with me. So Annie Murphy plays the character in this. I don't even know what to call it, because the way the show is set up is that she plays a character like in an Everybody Loves Raymond comedy. When she's in her house, she's married. Her brother-in-law is there. Her husband's brother comes in, and it has a laugh track. And it's filmed like Everybody Loves Raymond. And I can't remember, it's like the frames per second, or it looks like it's built on a set comedy. And then when she leaves that home, it turns to a drama. It's so odd. And it's like you're watching two different shows, and the tone is like obviously completely different. So when she leaves the house, the visual representation of the show actually changes, right? The tone, not the the tone, actually, the actual color tone actually changes. There's no laugh track. She becomes kind of like, in the comedy, it's almost as if the thing is like, I'm in this relationship and everything's a joke, kind of stuck in it, and you run the Everybody Loves Raymond dynamic. And if you don't know, that show was long on here in the US. And then when she leaves, it almost turns into this woman, and they don't cross. Like, I don't think her husband leaves the house. Like, they're not engaged outside the house in a serious manner. It's just her, like her world. So when she leaves the house, it becomes a much more of a drama. Yeah, I would say a drama. So it's really unique. Anybody watch that thing? Am I like talking into the void on this one? Character or attitude of a place. Make characters have them interact with each other. A feeling. Of course. Now related to gaming. You should define OSR while you're at it. Well, you know, it's funny you bring that up here again. That would be a discussion topic, I would say, right? Define the OSR. Getting coffee and brain can't stuff something yet. We've talked about this at times. Serious moment and someone breaks the moment with an oafish joke. Yes. Am I firing on all cylinders? I don't know. Tad, I got your message. Thanks, buddy. Yep, fixed it. Good to see ya. To me, tone is the aesthetic of the game. Well, hold on a second, because if we say, well, to me, tone is this, it can relate to it, but I want to be careful of redefining terms. And everybody that knows me knows that I'm not a big definitions guy, right? Gaming and BS and some other shows, like the reason we were the way we were was because I didn't want to get academic. But I will say this, and other shows were like, they start out like, let's talk about tone in gaming. First, we have to identify it. And that's the beginning of every show that they do, because, well, that's their style and their mode. And that was like, oh, dude, I don't want to go to a lecture. But I also want to be careful of that because I think there is a habit in today's world to start changing definitions of words. And when you start changing definitions of words, then we don't understand each other. Hey, James, good to see you. That's all right. Just open discussion this week, but I think somebody brought up tone. Like tone in role-playing games is a good discussion topic, right? It spurs feedback. You remember Yahoo Serious? Come on. Dude, I got to start wearing a name tag. Just pointing to it. Sean. You know who I am? No, I'm just kidding. Took more than a year, Sean. Morning all. Michael, good to see you. Paper minis set a tone. Okay. System can have tone, but so can setting. I'd agree. Yes, for sure. I agree with you, Hobbs. Now it's recorded and live and it's out there, damn it. Ugh, in my life. All right. That's what I'm talking about. Pre-Aikido. Wacha! This is what I got from Googling tone in RPG. Tone in RPG refers to the atmosphere or feeling of a game. Different tones can include, Mike says, various things, action, comedic, horror, etc. Yeah. Tone is what you make it. I have had hilarious sessions of COC and gritty, grueling ones of Planescape. Right, which is why it is important when you do a session 0 to determine what the tone of the game is going to be, right? And some of it can be very formal, and some of it doesn't have to be, because you may say, oh, Call of Cthulhu, it has by default a certain people perceive it in a particular manner, right? It's Call of Cthulhu. Oh, investigation, got it. Horror, cosmic horror, got it. Cthulhu, got it, right? So sometimes it's inherent to that. Not always, but sometimes. Also, when I say it can be formal or less formal, it depends on who you're playing with. If you've played with a group forever, for 30-ish years, that the tone of how you set the game may have less relevance because the group's just the group, right? They set the tone themselves. Some may say you're not going to teach a 30-year RPG group that has been gaming with each other for that long amount of time, and you're not going to train them to do new tricks. I don't think that's necessarily true, but right, there is a familiarity component to gaming with the same group time after time. And if you're all kind of similar on your take and interpretation of role-playing games, those tone gaps are probably not as wide, right? Am I right? Am I thinking? Am I talking out of this part of my body? Tone can be conveyed by both layout and or text of a book, implicitly or explicitly of a book. It's often best, in my humble opinion, to have a brief cat-style discussion about tone at the start of a campaign, says Testreke. I agree. Which I think Sean is trying to talk about, yeah. Doc Flamingo. Not to be confused with the Flamingo Kid. Great movie, by the way. Laramie says the tone is based on coloring and camera angles. So effing good. Yeah. Black Mirror? This is not the one I'm talking about. I was going to say Black Mirror. Well, that's a good one. That has a tone, right? I don't know. Has anybody actually said the TV show that I was trying to reference? Do you know the Paranormal Order system? I do not. Does anybody else know it? Oh, Joe's, you've seen it? I've loved it, but I wanted more of Kevin as she saw him. Of course, tone of a session can also change. Ad hoc or musical-related Vaesen game last Thursday started out and ended up with a 10-hour loop of safety dance, playing and singing Swedish songs. Well, that's an interesting dynamic, right, Trekkie? You could it could start out as kind of like, this is ridiculous, or it's funny. And then it turns into this repetitive creepiness that sets in because it doesn't go away. So it's a interesting thing because you could say, hey, let's talk about the tone of this game. It's kind of like clowns. It's kind of like clowns, right? Like clowns are supposed to be silly and kind of humorous, right? This dude never liked clowns. I've always, like, I must, as a kid, had a clown come up and like in their white makeup and like big smiley face, making a balloon animal, and probably freaked me the hell out, honestly. I think that has carried over into, hey, now we're starting to get to some things here. Now we're starting to get into some therapy. Your session is in, right? GM therapy session is in, folks. But to Trekkie's point, you could be playing what could be considered kind of a light. I mean, even horror shows or suspense or super dramatic movies, TV shows, books, media start out as they could start out as normal, right? Now, if you're watching Saw 3, we kind of probably know where it's going to go. As a matter of fact, the opening scene may just cut to it, right? Like, bam. But some of them start out as, hey, it's, high schoolers going on a camping trip and everything's good and fun and they're, pulling jokes. Scream, the first Scream movie, I thought was pretty good in that regard. It was making fun of its own meta. So there's a bit of levity and then it starts getting into the horror, right? And then the tone changes. So yeah, there we go. Matt, good to see you. It's a good crowd today. Seen some people that don't drop in very often. That's cool. That's cool, I'll say. It's an open topic. Somebody brought up tone in role-playing games, right? So there's tone at the onset, and then it's like it could change, which could be great because it's how the story moves or how the narrative moves kind of shifts. Like, it's Delta Green. So somebody mentioned Delta Green versus Shadowrun, right? Whatever. So Delta Green, you start out as investigation, right? It's an investigation. Here's the brief. But in the brief, it can start to get a little bit creepy. So you kind of do the investigation steps. And then as the story progresses or the session progresses, the campaign progresses, it gets, weirder and weirder and infinitely strange depending on the session. Or it could get gross and horrific and dark, right? So Shadowrun, does it have a tone? I think you have to make it your own. A perfect example of what I appreciate, like, I think tone's huge. I'm glad somebody brought this up because I think tone is huge in role-playing games, right? Even like concept, aim, subject matter, and the cat's piece, I find tone is probably personally, it's probably one of the most important because even just setting the tone helps cover quite a bit of what could potentially make your game fall apart over time, right? Somebody wants to play, a night at the Improv every session, and it's a stand-up comedian act, and then everybody else is like serious business, right? But going to Star Wars, some of you know that Star Wars is great, and but I find an appeal with I've wanted to mash it up with Inglourious Bastards, right? And change the tone from, well, it's the rebels, and when people get shot, they just kind of fall over, right? It's like a light beam goes across the screen, and they get shot, and they slump over. Like it's it is what it is. It's Star Wars. It's the kind of camp, which is great. But the rebellion and what is going on, if you really get into that, it's dirty. Like Andor, Rogue One, it's war. It's against the regime. And that is not roses and unicorn farts. And so that tone for me, and the thing is I brought this up too, is when I bought Fantasy Flight Games series of books, the last one that I bought was Age of Rebellion because it didn't appeal to me. It's like, Rebellion. But it probably didn't appeal to me because the tone I felt in the movies wasn't the tone I wanted to convey in a game. And so if you take Age of Rebellion and you turn that up to 11, where like death is not good, people will die, things are high risk, it's the people are in the mud. There are traitors and backstabbers, and you turn it up to a drama. Because I would say Andor is not. I would almost say Andor is like sliced off, and much more drama than pulpy high action Star Wars, 50s. I mean, it's got an opening crawl. Did Rogue One have an opening crawl? Can't remember. Anyways, you can't have a conversation until the terms are defined. Lighter, dark, absurd, humorous, heavy, serious, gonzo, grounded. Yeah, there's so many. And I think, everyone remembers Yahoo Serious, right, James? On a basic level, the genre of the game can often set the tone. Yes. From there, you can adjust the sliding scale. Agreed. Hobbs, you gotta, come on, man. He wasn't, like, Yahoo Serious had like one movie here, but he wasn't, you gotta live in the moment. Yeah, who could forget the Oscar-winning movie Young Einstein, right? James, case in point. Hobbs says, I would say Lovecraft has a tone and COC has a tone, but anybody can play anything with a different tone. Yeah, it can, for sure. Like, you can have somebody that is, like, we've watched movies where there are funny bits, there are funny lines, but the movie doesn't spiral downward into a weird Roadrunner versus Coyote show, right? But it's also like you can't get too crazy. And you have to know that it's timing with some of those, I would say. Accidentally deleted my own comment. Right, Matt. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Say no more. Try again. Always considered like tone in literature that intent put toward the genre out forth by the author or GM. Game with the same groom after time, the same feels as watching Adam Sandler movies from a macro perspective. It's all the same movie with the same cast. Whoa. That is an interesting take. I will say, Mr. Walls, that is interesting. That is, yeah. I'd like to grab that one. And that is a good one because it's so true. And I think that's sometimes like that, I would say, is a whole nother ball of wax. And what is exactly a ball of wax? Do you guys have balls of wax? Don't answer that question. That did not come out correctly. Hey, no, stop. Time out. Anyways, I think there's something there. And James, you might have had that. Like, yeah, it's really simple. I got it in my brain all the time. But I think part of what you are putting out there is really why some of us are here. And some of us don't have the same members of our game group in this chat. I think that's really what it comes down to. Now, you have opened my eyes, Mr. Walls. I think, to your point, yeah, imagine watching every Sandler movie with the same cast, right? Put David Spade in there, put maybe Farley in there, maybe it's all the same. And then you shift it to another movie, like Chris Rock, throw Chris Rock in there, and then all the Saturday Night Live guys, right, that they hung around with each other, and then you put them in another movie, right, and then you put them in another movie. I think that may be some of the issues that may be like, okay, let's say, for example, I'm playing with Jeff, the Jeff group, I call him, and we play, Sean Rand, Tomb of Annihilation, 5e. We played that, and we've played for years. And then I play Star Wars. It's the same group, and they're Jeff, maybe elaborating. Maybe I'm overemphasizing the similarity. Jeff plays the same character, but now it's in Star Wars. And my buddy Joe plays the same, instead of a barbarian, he plays a Wookiee in Star Wars that just likes to tear people's limbs from their body, right? So it moves. And so then the game master, whoever that is, that wants to try other games, are they wanting to try other games because they like the game mechanics and what it provides? Like, I'm kind of tired of 5e because these guys just get really powerful and there's not really a threat of death and it's a level and they just, so I'm just a little burned out on that type of game. So I want to play, I don't know, Blades in the Dark because it facilitate heists. And it's with the same group because they're friends of mine. And I want to play with them because I like them. But I want to try to change the experience. Even though it's the same guys or women, right? Like the same group. It's the same group, but I'm going to change it up. I want to, put different stuff in the bowl. And then hope it's a different experience. But it's the same group, And they're willing to change and bend and, be different and all this. And it'll be a different experience. I don't know. And then it's not. And then it's like, well, I don't know. My game group, they didn't jam on it. They didn't like it. So I go back to 5e. I don't know. I think there's something there. Ooh, that is a can of worms. Anybody own a can of worms? Can of worms? Anybody? Don't open it though. Hobbs says, I just put some poetry in the beginning. Everybody knows the gravitas. Love, Death, and Robots, Shambot. How ironic that Shambot posts Love, Death, and Robots. There's a bot. There's a bot thing there, a relationship. Orcus, expectations of tone can often ruin a game. A rigid GM expecting a perfect serious tone in a horror game is usually impossible. Someone is always going to drop a joke during something uncomfortable. Yeah, I think you're right. I agree. Now it's just a matter of like how uncomfortable do they get and how often are they dropping those jokes. Every time someone mentions the show, I have to approve their message. Morning, Shambot. I said the C word. Whatever, dude. Whatever, Hobbs. Well, I could not define something, or I could define it in like 2 words and then just sit here. We'll do a stream where we just have you guys chat. What's Sean doing? Nothing. I'm reading the chat. I'm typing in there. We're live chatting. Too funny. I was running Star Wars, Tad says, and during character creation, one of my friends named her droid character Blink 182. That's how I realized how important establishing tone with a group is. Yeah, it's for those of you that remember my Curse of Strahd campaign where somebody created a lizard man. Great. And why? Which you have to ask. Well, it wasn't to grab its, feats and special, things that come with being a lizard man or whatever lizard class it was. They, wanted to play that. And then they were going to use disguise self to like hide their facade from others, even though it doesn't work quite like that. Cognizant Puddles. Good to see you, Cognizant. Cognoscente. Noted. Send Sean Clown related gifts. Oh God. Yeah, the rule, if you haven't found out, is never let anybody know what bothers you, because there's always going to be one knucklehead that pokes you with it. And well, now you know. Mr. Hobbs, Harrigan and Kevin give us definition and we can compromise. Dumb character names are perhaps the number way to immediately T-bone the intended tone. For sure. Which I have done. Guilty. I've been that guy. I've totally been that guy. Oh, you're going to create characters? Sean, what are you creating? I'm going to create two. Like, we get to create two characters? Yes, Sean, we can. You can. Okay. I'm going to create two gnomes. One will be named Frick, and the other one will be named Frack. Okay. Frick, your turn. No, that's Frack. Okay, then it's Frack's turn. Well, no, that's Frick. Who says, but RPG Sean, do you lime mimes? Do you lime mimes? I do not lime mimes. Who's? Mimes don't bother me for some reason. I don't know why. I don't think it's the same. I think it's they're toned down a little bit. Anyone ever a game where the GM wanted to keep it light or humorous and the players wrecked the tone by being too serious? That's a good one. Anybody? Bueller? James says, I remember trying to run a serious Ravenloft campaign, pre-Facebook and social media, hard to find players. One of the guys insisted on his character talking like Ned Flanders. Ruined the campaign. Hey, diddly-do, neighbor. Can you imagine? It's kind of like this. So how do you set the tone? How do you set the tone? Do you say, look, you know this movie over here? That's what it's going to be like. This is what I want it to be like. So how do you set the tone without make it like, oh, we're playing the game. No. I'm just trying to get the tone, right? It's not The Simpsons. Hey, it's, Penny Dreadful. Okay. Have you watched Penny Dreadful before? No. Oh, great. Wonderful. Right. Oh, so we're talking about Penny Dreadful. So we're going to play all like classic movie monsters, but in a drama setting, right? No. That's not the game. We're going to play this, but I want the tone to mimic this. Oh, okay. I don't think I've seen that before. Jim seems to always go the other way. But Jim is always right. Come on. We know that. Tone is like the baseline vibe of the game from which variation can occur, but the game returns to that baseline feel. Or so you hope. In Mike's games, they do. Well, Mike, good for you. Just kidding. Bilbo sounds silly, but damn, did that story get serious? Well, not only Bilbo, but what about... is that why they didn't put Tom Bombadil in the movie? I think I read that on a social media tweet recently. Blue Sky update. Like somebody was reading The Lord of the Rings for the first time, and they got to Tom Bombadil, and they're like, I like this series of books, but this Tom Bombadil is making me want to strangle him. And some of us are like, oh, dude, he's the most awesome character ever. Hilarious. Oh. Orcus Dorcas says, what do you mean, Harrigan? In referring to made up names that will kill a tone, their kooky names for characters will kill a tone. He says, Harrison Fjord in a pulp game is perfectly cromulent. Not to not post Harrigan's response. Do you need to set the tone? Each session or scenario says who's. I don't think you do. Maybe. It depends on how deviating from standard is occurring. Because somebody could, here's the trick though. Here's to Hoose's question. Can tone be lost or could it deviate? Is that good or bad? It starts out as this. All of a sudden it's kind of like, it's somebody trying to draw a straight line, right? It's like, I have all kinds of analogies and goofy examples today, folks. It's kind of like writing on a chalkboard, right? Like, okay, my first word is straight and narrow, and then by the time you get to the end of the sentence, you're writing it out like a curve down, right? Is that what's happening to the game? I would say it depends. Oh, you're welcome. On how it's moving. Maybe a gentle reminder. How do you also set the tone in a game session? So you set it up front in CATS in a session 0 or what have you and say, okay, hey, this is what we're going to play. We're going to play Star Wars Age of Rebellion, but the tone is very similar to these war movies. Okay? Saving Private Ryan, right? Band of Brothers. That tone in this setting and rule set. That's what we're going for. Maybe Inglourious Bastards, but that might be a little too over the top. Like, how real do you want to get? Versus like Tarantino. Right? So there's that. And then as you progress in the game, how are you as the game master? You have to back that up. You got to, right? And the more you back it up, the more players hopefully will follow and kind of get in line. It'd be like the perfect example of somebody cracking a joke at the inopportune time and everybody just, you hear the record scratch and everybody stares at them. Somebody's going to know it's bad timing. There's tone in our OSR game, Sean. There is. I'm getting it. There is. I'm not sure if Harrigan is reminding me or he is saying there is, and it shouldn't be because of you, Sean. Text is so hard to interpret sometimes because you know why? There's no tone. Yes, there we go, folks. Covering all bases all day. I think tone needs to be reinforced by the GM and ideally the rules so that it becomes the baseline feel for the entire game. Think like Aliens or Mothership where this occurs. Yeah, and let's admit it. That could be a long, like playing a game like that. If you're playing a campaign in Alien or Mothership or something like Super Delta Green, that can take like playing that all the time may take its toll on people and players. What if the players are tone deaf? Yeah, well, don't tell them to play any musical instruments. It's a good question. Tim! Good to see him, my man. Good to see you. All the way from Rhodes Islands. Started Impossible Landscape last night. Oh, man. So many things. Player wanted his code name to be Marshmallow. Oh, playing MCell? MCell, I'm a Marshmallow. I wasn't going to say no, but I asked him if he really wanted his character to be called that the whole time. You got to find out why. I think now we're too quick to go, no. And that's fine. Like, sometimes you just have to, right? Just have to. Like, no, your name's not Tweedledee. No. But at the same time, if you ask them why, there may be something to latch onto. Because there are some people we know in real life. They got a silly, weird name, but they've. So I had a friend of mine. His last name was Fry, growing up. And we called it, and he hated, just absolutely hated being called French Fry, and he'd get like pissed off. I'm gonna go to blows if you call me that name. But he liked being called Frenchie. And then, of course, we'd call him French. And his literal, like, through years, I mean, we're talking childhood on the playground, 8-year-old kids hashing this out. And from there on, he was always known as French or Frenchie. Hey, French. Like, to this name, if I called him by his first real name, it would sound weird. Almost like a military thing. Military guys know this, right, Tim? Like, the first time one of your sergeants or something call you by your first name, it is like, wait a minute, my mother calls me that and all my friends do, and you're not one of them, but we respect each other. It's a weird code in the military. But going to Tim's point, like, and French isn't bad, but why does he call him French? Well, his last name's Fry, but he doesn't like calling him French fry. And then that's a point of contention, like somebody like, oh, French fry. No. Like, no. Like, it's a serious thing, but it's a kind of a joke at the same time, right? Joking, but not joking. Right. Ryan West says 100% agree, Mike. Where Mike was talking about above. Come on, scroll. Oh, man, where Mike's? Everybody's going too fast. I got to pause this before I lose these. That is my comment regarding Shadowrun. There's wonderful tone, but I don't feel the rules complement it. I love that, Laramie. If the tone aligns with goofy names, they could be awesome. There are tons of funny names in my Ultraviolet Grasslands game. Aaron Millett, Stormtroopers are accurate. Right. They are. Going to that point, Aaron, Stormtroopers, they effed up their tone, right? They really did. Like, they couldn't hit they became a kind of a laughing joke. They can't hit the broadside of a barn. But Stormtroopers should be badass, right? They're like Stormtroopers. I hate those guys, right? It's the Indiana Jones. Oh, it's Nazis. I hate those guys. But yeah, it's kind of a weird thing that is switched. Tim DeShane says that's why Andor is so good. Indeed, for sure. I know I'm probably a little bit behind. Bear with me. I just made a tone-based metacurrency. Every time a player throws the tone in my face, they get a cumulative -1 to -5% to their die roll. Hold the phone, T-Bone. The tone? Oh, God. Why do I even? Tim says Andor Rogue One are espionage stories in space. I'd agree. No crawl in Rogue One. Confirmed. Thanks, Michael. Yeah. Why? Very, very, very purposeful choice, right? The Star Wars franchise has lived on that opening crawl. Somebody was like, Rogue One, we're not having one. This isn't like Amazing Adventures, right? It's not, what is the old pulps? Not Flash Gordon. Yeah, it's Flash Gordon, right? Not Flash Gordon. Yeah, Flash Gordon, the pulps, right? Indiana Jones. It's not that. It's Rogue One, man. I had a player, PC, named Frau Blucher in DCC Weird Frontiers game, and every time someone said her name, I had horse neigh in the background. And yet it worked because of the tone of DCC. Tone matters. Full Metal Jacket. Oh, yeah, there's one. He had 2. Don't forget Reckless Kelly. Talking about Sirius. Yahoo Sirius. He did have 2 here in the U.S. Probably had more in Australia. How about the contrast between the 60s Batman TV show and the Penguin? Or, yeah, just like Batman, Adam West, and The Dark Knight. Just even the comic books changed tone dramatically over time. Huscar, Ball Wax, Furball, Owl Pellet, Yuck. Same genre world, tone couldn't be more different. Sergeant Dan, what's coming out of the woodworks today? What's up, Sergeant Dan? Tone should be set, but interjecting another tone should be used sparingly. It can spiral into parody or farce, for sure. As Kuato says, open your mind to Adam Sandler comparisons. I hope I said that in the proper tone, James. Who says Sandler a la same cast, different movie? SNL skits can be great and funny, but generally do not make a movie. Yeah, far few between. Chewbacca. Chewbacca. What a Wookiee, right? Okay, Chewbacca. Yeah, I speak Huttese. You? I should put that on a resume. Dialects. Huttese, Klingon, insert funny voices. But Punch Drunk Love, that was not a typical Sandler movie. Well, neither was Uncut Gems, which I have not seen. I heard it's good, though. In my longtime group, there are some individuals who are more open to doing a serious game, and then there are the rest who just want to roll dice and slice orcs, which can create a dynamic at the table. Got to find the happy medium. So the long-term struggle with that group is another struggle, says Hoos. Holy cow, I am way behind because Michael's just commenting on the live chat stream. Sean Overklempt, he'll give us a topic and we can talk amongst ourselves. Right. Are we still talking about definitions here, Hobbs? Or you could define it and then we could talk about different tonal experiences and then consider how we might do it better at expressing tone to players. Yeah. Hello, Eileen. Good to see you. Laramie says, I have a weakness too, Sean. It's barrel-aged stouts and good scotch. Please, no, don't come after me. Mike says, I'm really bothered when people hand me large sums of money. It really gets my dander up, right? Aaron says, played a game that was supposed to be humorous and the players just weren't very funny. Yeah, setting the tone. Talk about what it is, what it isn't. Provide lots of touchstones. You got to have some examples. Reference, points of reference. I think tone and player immersion go hand in hand. Mike's laughing out loud. I do hope at times I've been unable to keep a tone, but that's the way things go. Sean, you got to grab that frame of you pointing for the YouTube thumbnail. I'm hoping Arrogant is typing that in there in reference to our OSR game that I'm in tone. I'm playing, so the reference inside joke, I'm playing a character in OSR. You literally roll 3d6 down the line. And then you can rearrange one skill or one attribute. And they all, like when you add up all the modifiers, they have to be a 0, I think a 0 or greater than 0. And if you don't, your character dies at childhood and you got to re-roll another one, and that dead character becomes the sibling of the one that survives. And I rolled a character, I think I'm playing a character with like a 5 wisdom or something, and then a 17 intelligence. So tone, right? Like OSR or Outcast Silver Raiders specifically is what I'm referring to, but it could be any game with the standard ability array, right? If you're playing a particular game and you go, hey, this is how we're gonna go 3-6 down the line, man. It's the only way to play, dude. Right? It's the only true way to play 3-6. Okay. Everybody all right? Okay. None of that 46 drop lowest. Okay. I'm developing my character actor, flexing my character actor muscles. But if you're going to do that and you go down the line, and you're wanting to play AKA kind of a serious game, right? We're not playing Toon, Outcast Silver Raiders and how Harrigan's running. It's not Toon, our role-playing game. But at the same time, how does a 5 wisdom, 17 intelligence character roll? Because then it goes into role-playing. Well, let's not get into that's what my character would do. That's what my character would do. So, right? There's that's a different thing altogether as well. Anyways, I'll make it a short list of songs to be the soundtrack for the game, and I ask the players to listen to them as part of their prep. Oh, that's a good one. Through music, for sure. See you, James. Thanks for stopping by, man. Hey, hit the button on the way out, would you? And if you haven't hit the button, you know what I'm talking about. Hey, you know what I'm talking about. The button. The light switch, or whatever. Wait, your players prep? Yeah. My players decided they didn't want runners in Shadowrun, so they're basically Ghostbusters, which in a world of reawakened magic, this works just fine. Interesting. Another page you can take from the Glass Cannon podcast about tone is their use of scripted scenes and flashbacks. Indeed. Good suggestion. Love it. Love it. Turns out Marshmallow just really likes s'mores, right? Yeah, he ate them as a kid. Just stuck with them forever. As someone who is almost done with God's Teeth, you have to sometimes let the player steer the tone away for a bit. Otherwise, you may have 4 players in therapy by the end. Oh my God, yes, for sure. Michael says, yes, I still use last names for several folks I served with, right? Yeah, totally. It's weird when people don't call him Jesus. Laramie, your friend? Yeah. Tad says, good point, Orcus. A pressure release in a horror narrative is crucial, for sure. Yeah. All right. Good stuff, everybody. Much appreciated. Thank you so much. I'm going to get on to the things that are we want to. Wow. How did that get over there? I'm not sure. Let me move it over here. Let's get into RPG news, crowdfunding, get you guys on your way to doing whatever you want to do on this fine day. First thing, let's see, news. All right. Well, that's not it. What was that anyway? Oh, an image search. Had to be careful. What? Why is that coming up? I have no idea. Bear with me. Why is this? Is it going to come up now? Nope. Oh, it's going to be one of those. It's going to be one of those days. I see. Everything was going. I jinxed myself at the beginning. God blast it all. Let me fix this. Bear with me. I think this is going to do it. We'll see as soon as I click on the next link. White Wolf rises again. Paradox shakes up World of Darkness, brings RPG development in-house. So on a move sure to send shivers of delightful dread down the spines of goths, gamers everywhere, and raise some eyebrows, the iconic White Wolf name is officially back. Yay, it's back! World of Darkness announced today it's rebranding to White Wolf and will now be the central hub for licensing and publishing all its deliciously dark transmedia properties. That's right, folks. Vampire the Masquerade, Werewolf the Apocalypse, Hunter the Reckoning, and the whole grim shebang are coming home. There you go. If you are a fan, or maybe you're not, and maybe you don't know that, but there it is. That's about the only news I really had. Actually, it's not really, but I don't want to get into it. I will just comment on this. So from a couple streams ago, DCC, right? Goodman Games, they're going to do City State of the Invincible Overlord. Bledsaw II Jr. had released a statement. If you're interested in that, Ian World has it. It was on Facebook, so I'm like, here it is if you want to read it. I'm like, I'm not on Facebook, dude. I can't read the stupid thing. So if you want people to read it, do a screen cap and put it on there. Yeah, I don't know. Just go and read it. That's all I have to say about it. So it's not something I didn't want to, hey, I wanted to follow up from last couple of weeks ago where I talked about that in depth. And so he released a statement. There. People are going to back the game or they're not. And some are mad and some don't care. So, moving on. Bundles. We get into bundles. Bundles. I have 2, I think. 3? I don't know. I got 1. 1. Deadlands, big one, mega bundle. If you're a Deadlands fan, you probably have all these. If you don't, there you go. This is a good one. It's got like all the Deadlands Reloaded stuff specifically, not the classic. But look at all these things, man. That's a lot of Deadlands. Even an MP3. Deadlands Aces and Eights MP3 file. So if you have ever been on the fence about playing Deadlands, here you go. I mean, this will get you like, I think $30 will get you all these, if I'm not mistaken. That's, so yeah. I don't know. I might have this from a Savage Worlds Kickstarter I got in where it was like all of the things. Let's see what else. That's a good one. Awfully Cheerful Engine. I'm not familiar with this one. And Venturer, for a special promotional price, EM Publishing is offering the Awfully Cheerful Engine, the cinematic action comedy tabletop role-playing game. Speaking of tone, right? Ace is a loving parody of well-known pop culture icons, a love letter to fun-packed action films, to 80s RPGs like Ghostbusters from West End Games, and to cartoons like Danger Mouse and TMNT. So somebody talked about TMNT and not wanting to do Palladium. Maybe, just saying, this may be the chance to check this out. So there you go. And then the other one, they have a few at the top, which we've gone over before. I think the only one I haven't that's more recent is the OSC Advanced Fantasy, which has been, I think, put out there before. So if you're looking into this, it's OSC Essentials Advanced, not OSC Essentials. This is advanced and not, like, we got a diagram that lays all these out. So anyways, there you go. It'll tell you what's in there, what it covers, yada, 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 da, da, da. Boom, bam, boom. There. Bundles, books, blah. Print news. Let's get into print news. Print news. Always like to see print news. See a Delta Green at the top. All right. Print news. This is from EN World Publishing. My latest releases. God's Hunt. That will be on Sean's shortlist. Know it, learn it, love it. Delta Green, bang, bam, boom. Next one, Epic Encounters Circle of the Demon Prince, if you've been waiting for that one. An Epic Encounters Bridge of the Dwargar Cult. That's for D&D 24. D&D 24. Next one, Memento Mori. Core book and Memento Mori Codex Gigas by Two Little Mice. If you know Two Little Mice, right? They're the ones that do, what is it, Home something, and then that other one, Outgun. Too Many Eyes of the Tyrant by Philip Reed Games. Philip Reed does good work. That's for D&D 24. Next one, Visitors to Fairhaven by Exalted Funeral. WHPA TV 13 Weird Heroes of Public Access. Weird Heroes of Public Access thing. The Gardens of Yin. Soul Muppet Publishing. Beautiful book. I got it. It's now to the masses because Soul Muppet delivered it to all the backers and everything. So now it's available that you could buy. It's a remastered version of Emmy Allen's 2018 adventure with new art and layout. Zero prep. It's great. And Dungeon Crawl Classics RPG Core Rulebook Arrow Otis cover. So, yeah, there you go. If you're interested. If you are not in the I'm going to burn all my DCC books camp, you want to support the company, but maybe not. I don't know. It's complicated, right? Relationship, it's complicated. So, anyways, that's out there with a cool cover from Arrow Otis. There you go. I'll put this link in the chat, and all these will be there for you to check out. Okay, next one. What? Crowdfunding news. Crowdfunding. These are typically the ones in the last few days of their campaign posted on EN World. Thanks, EN World. Go over there, click on all their ads. Outgun Superheroes. I did not get in. I'm a fan of Outgun. Sorta. I think there was a blog article I posted to the Discord where and Outgun does have this, like a book on different genre action flicks that you can like switch, like, hey, use Outgun for space laser setting, right? But there is a blog entry that somebody modded for Star Wars because I think Outgun might be a good system for it, right? It's got a system setting mashup. Outgun Superheroes from Two Little Mice, which in some of their crowdfunding campaigns, you can get like all their stuff if you missed out from previous, and then as add-ons and things of that nature. So check that out. It ends June 5th. I did not get in on the Superheroes one because I don't think I own a single Superheroes game. Villains and Vigilantes, but I had that from like the 80s that I got from a friend, and I think it's my friends. I just happen to have it. Next one, Invisible Sun Electric Indigo. Not to be confused with Electric Boogaloo. Just saying. That ends on June 6th on BackerKit. Heroes of Might and Magic. This one got a little buzz on the Discord because folks loved that video game back in the day. So that's from Modiphius, 2D20 system. That is out there. That is funded. Next one, Dank and Dark. Not to be confused in my life. Just kidding. Just kidding. It's on BackerKit. Tunnel Goons is the system. 24-page compact board book. Includes all of the rules you need to run quick one-shot sessions for everyone. Liquid Steel. Tabletop role-playing game and graphic novel from the legendary Kyuk. Too many Q's. Alcatina. On BackerKit for Troika. Campaign start. That's one thing I don't play. I haven't played Troika and I haven't played a Dark trophy game. Not that they're one of the same, but nonetheless. This campaign is part of TTRPG and part comic book. Part of the proceeds go towards translating Eduardo's Maztinelli's and Enrique Alcatina's Argentinian science fantasy comic series into English. The rest goes towards turning the concepts into TTRPG using the Troika system. Cool. Next, Slay to Win. Nerdburger Games, an original system, RPG card game. That is not funded. It's coming up on June 6th. It's almost there. Underhaven, OSR Heroic Fantasy role-playing game. System is TN13 gaming system by Shadow Drifter Games. That is not funded, but could be. Could be. Squeaking them out. That's it. That's all I got. That's all I got, kids. Next week, I'll be here, 8 a.m. Central Time. Boom, bam, boom. Be here. Be square. Check out some of the videos here online. I want to thank all these fine individuals for providing me with a few shekels each month to support my thing. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here this fine Saturday morning. And thank you if you came after the stream to watch this and pick up bits and pieces of what went down today. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I will let you go. Remember, be a positive force in the tabletop RPG hobby. Go play some games. Do some fun stuff. Be well. And check out one of these videos if you would be so inclined. See ya.